guys have been having a good week ahead. I am home. I've been home for about a week and a half and it's been great. So according to Instagram, I'll be doing a separate Q&A. So this will be about like life and a life update and all sorts. I have the questions all here. So let's get started. This is gonna be like a bit of a chatty vlog. So grab some snacks and let's get chatting. Okay, how are you feeling leaving London versus coming home? I miss London, like I'm not gonna lie, I really miss London. But I'm really grateful to be back with my family, of course. It's been about a year and almost a half that I've been living alone in London, and given the pandemic, it's been quite stressful. Also given like what happened last year. Yeah, it's been a lot to handle, but then I feel great being back. Do you prefer London or the Philippines? Okay, here's the thing. I super love both countries equally, but London, the weather, I'm a very like I love cold temperatures. Although like Philippines has my heart still, because obviously my friends are all here and my family is here as well. So I really can't pick between which country. So yeah. How did you adjust when you started living independently in a different country? So I have been living alone ever since I was in Singapore. So that was back in 2015. So basically, I've been technically living alone in a foreign country for about 6 years. I think I just embraced the new environment. I was super like excited to be living independently because I've always wanted to do that. I've always been an independent person. I like doing a lot of things on my own as well. And it can get like you get a lot of culture shock along the way, but then it's just about like being open-minded and embracing everything. And also like prior leaving, I was looking at different areas. I was like slowly immersing myself in the culture, and yeah. I think you learn along the way as well. So it's a challenge that is very like nerve-wracking, but then it's super rewarding because you really grow so much when you live alone, especially in a different country when your family is not there and you're super out of your comfort zone. What did you learn when you lived in abroad alone? So I think I learned about a lot about myself in terms of like being super street smart, being super cautious, also saving money, of course, and like balancing out where to go. Like if because the thing is when you live alone, all the time in the world is at your own control. So it's all about being productive on your own. No one is gonna tell you but yourself. Being super disciplined. Since I was living abroad for my studies, that was one of my main motivations. Of course, like I enjoyed going to school, and the thing is, it's being super responsible because obviously when you live alone, you are living for yourself as well, and obviously like you have a lot of responsibilities to take on, and that's where you kind of learn all the more to like multitask, to engage with new people, to embrace new cultures. So yeah, you learn so much, and I think when you live abroad, that's when you learn what are the things most valuable to you. So those are the things that I will like be bringing, like habits that I will always be bringing wherever I go. When people were in panic during COVID in the UK, what did you do? I stayed at home. I think last year, March 2020, I was just always like watching the news. And the thing was, it can get very toxic, especially when cases are just like going up and up and up. And I think at one point, and that was just at the start of the pandemic, I think I was already like super paranoid and I just stayed at home. I think the only time I went out was when I had to get groceries, and that's it. Because the thing was, no cafes or coffee places were open to get coffee, so I didn't even bother. And I didn't even bother. And yeah, no, I think I was also thinking about the fact that I have family back in Manila who were like super worried for me. So I really just stayed at home. I think the panic grew, of course, when it was in December to January, wherein our cases were about like 50 to averaging from 50 to 60,000 a day in the UK, and you just have to stay at home. You just have to always wash your hands, stay at home. It was a very like, you just really have to be concerned for yourself and for the people around you, because I know like some of my friends, when they got COVID, it takes a toll on your mental psyche, and obviously you worry about if you infected on other people. So the whole time I was literally just at home. I think, yeah, no, I was just at home. I think there would be times I would meet my friend, because we were in a bubble since I was living alone and she was living alone very close to me, and we are like each other's like mental support as well. But aside from that, I was just at home. Yeah. Adjustments you made when you studied in the UK. I think I think obviously like I came my bachelor's was in Singapore, and then my MA was in the UK, and obviously comparing the two systems, like study systems, it was a big like shock to me. And obviously if it's an MA, you kind of have to adjust really fast, and you have to feel the room on how they would want certain things. Aside from that, I think in terms of work ethic, I've always like tried to really grind nonstop. I think in my BA and in my MA, I took advantage of every facility available, from the library to the museums to whatever. I mean, it's quite sad that I didn't get to maximize it because of COVID, but I really tried to adjust in terms of like the people I meet, because obviously I was in a Western country, so you adjust based on like the people around you as well, and you really have to feel the room in terms of like being sensitive towards other cultures as well, and being open-minded towards certain conversations and so forth. Because obviously when you travel abroad, you will be open to different conversations that you never would have like talked about in like if I were to like have stayed in Manila all throughout. And I think it just opens your mind on a new, like on a whole new level. So yeah, what else? I think the thing was, when I studied in the UK, I brought my sewing machine, I brought my threads, I brought everything, because I was like, I am not wasting 69 pounds, 69 pesos for a piece of thread when I have shitload of thread at home. So I tried my best to really like stack up on supplies, except for fabric, of course, because that would weigh too much on my luggage. So yeah. Another question. Is there anything you wish you could have done differently, like in general? I think I wish, no, it the thing is, I mean, I have certain what ifs. Maybe I don't regret, or do I? I mean, I think I regret being too stubborn back in my BA, because obviously like back in my BA, I mean, this is also for the Q&A with fashion, because there are a lot of things regarding fashion here. But that will be for a separate Q&A. But then I think I wish I wasn't so stubborn, because obviously when I was doing my BA, I literally just had one option for my fashion school, and that's not my mom, my dad. They all like told me, can you please have another school? And I was like, no, I am not gonna. This is the only school, and this is the only school, and I didn't get in. So I went to Ateneo, and then I was just like, okay, I love Ateneo, but then fashion is life. And thankfully, like, I got into the one in Singapore, and it was one of the best things ever that happened to me, because I grew so much in that school. Which those things that I learned from that school, because the curriculum is so good. It's very stressful, but it was really good. I carried it over when I took my MA. So that was super, like, I'm still super blessed, because without being in Singapore, I wouldn't have gone through several competitions and have grown so much and learned so much also, that I would like carry with me in my career. So yeah. Favorite snacks. I like chicken a lot. I don't think that's a snack, but I love chicken. Yeah. Like, Bea knows that so much. My friends know that a lot. How is it like living alone in a different country? I think if it's your first time, obviously it's super nerve-wracking, but to me it's super liberating. Like, being on your own, with you in control of everything, walking around, discovering new places. It could be kind of scary, especially if it's the first time. I think when I was in London, I would get scared at night, as in, like, given that I'm a girl, it can get quite scary. That's why you really have to be street smart, and you really have to know how to defend yourself in certain situations. I mean, knock on wood, but obviously, like, you have to be wary of certain things. But then overall, it's amazing to live abroad. Even if you're given the opportunity to live abroad once in your life or whatsoever, or to visit for like a month, 2 months, you grow so much. Like, as I said earlier. What is your driving force? I think it's because I know I'm going towards something and I want to achieve it so bad. And I think it's also because like I know my reason why I'm in fashion, and I want to help people. Yeah. I'm on the verge of crying also, so I don't want to continue answering that question. But yeah, no, I think my family, my own purpose. Yeah. What is your hair type? I am a curly hair gal. Yes, I'm a curly hair gal. Do you go to a salon every month? Hair care routine, please. No, I don't go to the salon every month. I mean, these roots are the worst right now, but then we make do, because we're in the middle of a panini, so we're gonna make do with that. But then I will drop a hair care routine soon. But my hair is kind of dry right now ish. Yeah, given the bleach. But yeah. What is your favorite fashion brand? I think this is for a fashion Q&A, but then I think I'll just answer this. There are a lot. I mean, I see so many like growing designers internationally, like Nancy Dohaka, or like what's the name? I also like House of Sunny, of course. And then if you're talking about like the bigger brands, let's say I love Chanel a lot. I love Dior also. If it's in terms of the Philippines, I love Carl Jan Cruz. I'm wearing him right now. And I love Rod, who does like knitwear. And there are a lot. I mean, I could go on and on and on. So yeah. What else? How can you motivate yourself if you are already feeling lost? I think it's like, if you feel so lost, it's about like, you take the amount of rest that you need, but at the same time you kind of have to fight your own system, because obviously all of us like we all have our own self systems, and the thing is, when we know that we are in a rough patch, I mean, it's okay. Like I personally also have a rough patch here and there. I like, if I'm gonna be completely frank, the past year in London was the hardest. And like it's about like fighting. Like, it's so cliche, but it's like, it's really about not giving up and fight it. Like, to me, it's like you have to fight your own system. Like go be sad and cry, but at the same time you have to be like, I'm me and I can do this, and like, even if it's a baby step, I can do this. Like, you have to hype yourself up slowly, and also like break your own system, because obviously if you're in this mood wherein it's like, I'm gonna just sleep the whole day, like, it's gonna be like a cycle with yourself, and that becomes your system, and then it becomes a habit. So at the same time, you really have to break your own system, and that's when you start growing, because obviously when one is at a low point, there's no way to go but up. And like, for me, my driving force is also my family and myself, because obviously, like, when you reach a certain point in your life, you look back at everything you have gone through and you're just like, I did that and I can survive this. So yeah, that is what I think in terms of when you're really feeling lost. And I think journaling also really helps. Writing down what you're thinking really helps. And another thing is obviously like, I read this thing where it's like, you don't have to plan super ahead of time. You also have to plan for what's tomorrow, in a way, so that you have something to look forward to. Lastly, for this Q&A, the best decisions that you took a risk, where the best risk you took. I think for me, in terms of career wise, it would be slowly doing like baby steps. So I took my BA in Singapore because I wanted to have a feel of the Asian market as well, and I really grew so much from it. And then after that, I think one of the best risks I took was obviously when I was applying for my master's, and I was super scared to apply for LCF because I was just like, oh, this like, the application is so daunting, because obviously it's like they require you to have like a thesis statement, they require you to have a thesis proposal, they require a lot of like different sub things. And to me, like, getting into like the requirements for LCF was one of the hardest requirements I had to fulfill. And I remember I applied, submissions were gonna close in June, and I applied in May, or like early June, or like May. I think it was May. And then I was even hesitating because I was just like, oh, I'm super tired of these rejections, because like in March of 2019, I got probably like 3 rejections straight up. So I was just like, oh, I have one school already. I have one school like I'm secured for. Do I apply for LCF or do I not? Do I apply for LCF or do I not? And I did. And it was the best risk I took. And it led me to grow so much, and the experience there, and I think everything that happened in the past year really like changed me completely, in a way. Yeah, so that's about it for this. If you guys have any like requests or whatsoever, I'm down for that, and I'll see you on the next video. For those who still made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next. Please hit the subscribe button and give a thumbs up to this video. I'll see you in the next. Bye bye.